Welcome to the Ultimate Sports Podcast. Today is Tuesday, May 28, 2019. A lot to catch up on today. Stanley Cup Finals is underway. NBA Finals, I'll give you my pick. And we'll talk about baseball, go over those games from yesterday, look ahead to tonight's slate. College baseball tournament starts at the end of the week. I'll talk about that a little bit and all the teams that got regions. We'll talk about college softball a little bit. French Open, and my best bet of the day. All right, we're going to start with the Stanley Cup Final, where the Bruins won Game 1 over the St. Louis Blues by a score of 4-2 to take a 1-0 series lead. It was an interesting game, and then the Bruins put it away with the empty netter late. I said that the Bruins would win Game 1, that the Blues would win the series. I look good right now. Braden Shen got the Blues on the board first with his third goal of the postseason. 1-0 Blues. Second period, Vladimir Tarasenko's ninth of the postseason. 2-0 Blues. Second period, the Bruins get on the board by a goal by Connor Clifton to get him within one. Then Charlie McAvoy scores a power play goal, his second of the postseason, tied up at 2 apiece. Third period, Sean Curley's third of the postseason, 3-2 Bruins. And then Brad Marchand's eighth of the postseason into the empty net. 4-2 Bruins is your score. Sean Curley was the number one star of the game with a goal and assist. Number two star of the game he didn't have a point, but he was just really good. And that was Marcus Johansson. Number 3 star of the game with a goal, Connor Clifton. Game 2 is tomorrow night. We'll preview and pick that game on tomorrow's podcast. Now I'll move on to the NBA. Saturday night was Game 6 between the Bucks and the Raptors win by a score of 100-94. They win the series in 6 and advance to their first NBA Finals in franchise history. Milwaukee actually had a double-digit lead in the third quarter, but give Toronto credit for coming back and stealing the game in the series. Kawhi Leonard, 27 points, 17 boards, 7 assists. That was just a sensational performance by him. He was the MVP of that series, and he's been the MVP of the Eastern Conference side of the playoffs for sure. Kyle Lowry had 17 with 8 assists. Pascal Siakam had 18. Off the bench, Fred VanVleet had 14. His turnaround's been great. Meanwhile, for Milwaukee, they only played 8 guys. Giannis had 21 and 11. Chris Middleton only had 14. Brook Lopez had 18 with 9 boards. Malcolm Brogdon had 10. George Hill had 10 off the bench. Ersan Ilyasova had 13 off the bench. Game 1 is Thursday night between the Warriors and the Raptors. But earlier I had on Jake Brown and I gave out my prediction for the series, which happens to be the Warriors in 6 games. The secret to the series is that Toronto has home court advantage, so you at least got to give them the respect they deserve for getting this honor and finishing with a better record than the Golden State Warriors. Finals MVP prediction, Stephen Curry. I just think he's due to win one of these, especially with Kevin Durant probably not playing in this series. Although Draymond Green's had a great postseason, Klay Thompson's been on and off. And don't forget, Andre Iguodala won the Finals MVP a few years ago in that first championship that the Warriors had under Steve Kerr. So it should be a fun series. The Raptors have the better bench, and they also have home court advantage. Those are 2 major things. And then Golden State's bench has been better than expected, especially in that Portland series when they just were providing good minutes. Like Jordan Bell and guys like that have just been stepping up, and I'm interested to see how they perform in an environment like Toronto where that crowd is going to be ruckus. We'll get more into this on Thursday when the finals start, and then tomorrow I'm going to have Josh Eberly on, my buddy from Twitter, as we're going to talk about the NBA Finals in depth a lot. Now we're going to go to baseball, just going to go through the scores, and then we'll look ahead to tonight's slate of games. Yankees over the Padres 5-2, Marlins over the Nationals 3-2, Orioles over the Tigers 5-3, Rays over the Blue Jays 8-3, Pirates over the Reds 8-5 in Game 1 of their doubleheader, Astros over the Cubs 6-5, Rockies over the Diamondbacks 4-3 and 11. That was on a walk-off single by Raimel Tapia. Red Sox over the Indians 12-5, Athletics over the Angels 8-5, Brewers over the Twins 5-4, Reds over the Pirates 8-1. in Game 2 of their doubleheader. Dodgers over the Mets 9-5, and then the Mariners over the Rangers 6-2. Tonight's games, we have a game that was suspended yesterday that's being completed right now as we speak. It's the Royals and the White Sox knotted at 1. 6:30, you have the Padres and the Yankees. Eric Lauer, Masahiro Tanaka. Pirates and the Reds at 6:40. Jordan Lyles, and making his debut for the season, Lucas Sims. 7 o'clock, you have the Tigers and the Orioles. Matt Boyd and Dylan Bundy. Cardinals, Phillies. Nick Pivetta and Adam Wainwright. Pivetta coming back after a minor league stint. Indians, Red Sox. You have Zach Plesac making his big league debut. He was a first rounder in 2016 against David Price. Blue Jays, Rays. Clayton Richard and Ryan Stanek. Stanek, obviously the opener. Giants, Marlins. Jeff Samardzija and Trevor Richards. 7:20, Nationals, Braves. Steven Strasburg and Max Fried. 8:10, Cubs, Astros. John Lester and Corbin Martin. Royals, White Sox. Brad Keller and Lucas Giolito. Giolito's absolutely turned it on this year. Brewers, Twins, you have Zach Davies against Devin Smeltzer making his season debut for the Minnesota Twins. 8:40, the Diamondbacks at the Rockies. Merrill Kelly and Antonio Senzatella. 10 o'clock, Rangers, Mariners. Adrian Sampson and Marco Gonzalez. Angels, Athletics. You have Noe Ramirez and Frankie Montas. And Mets, Dodgers, you have Steven Matz and Rich Hill. All right, so yesterday the college baseball tournament seedings were released, and the regions actually came out on Sunday, and there are obviously 16 regions in the baseball tournament, which begins on Friday, and then the College World Series in Omaha starts on June 15th. I'm going to do a special podcast making my predictions for this on Thursday. But the 16 national seeds that get the hosts. The number 1 seed's UCLA, 2's Vanderbilt, 3's Georgia Tech, 4's Georgia, 5 Arkansas, 6 Mississippi State, 7 Louisville, 8 Texas Tech, 9 Oklahoma State, East Carolina's 10, 11 Stanford, 12 Ole Miss, 13 LSU, 14 North Carolina, 15 West Virginia, and 16 is Oregon State. So that's where the regionals are. And then the super regionals, obviously, are the teams that are the top 8 seeds that I mentioned before. So UCLA, Vanderbilt, Georgia Tech, Georgia, Arkansas, Mississippi State, Louisville, Texas Tech. And those teams, obviously, are the super regionals. And now we'll switch over to softball, where that World Series will start on May 30th. The teams that are in it are Alabama, Arizona, Florida, Minnesota, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, UCLA, and Washington. So that's going to be very interesting, and I'll pick the games as we go through the podcast, and we'll talk more about that come Thursday. On Sunday started the French Open. We'll discuss the results from the women's side and the men's side. We'll start with the men's side, and then obviously we'll pick the second round sets for tomorrow. So we'll start with Sunday in the first round. Alexei Popyrin defeats Hugo Humbert. It took 4 sets. Then Casper Ruud defeats Ernest Gulbis. And that took 3 sets. 29-seeded Matteo Berrettini defeated Pablo Andujar. That took 4 sets. 11-seeded Marin Cilic defeated Thomas Fabiano. That took 3. Grigor Dimitrov defeated Janko Tisravich. That took 5 sets. So that one was pretty competitive. Stefano Tsitsipas defeated Maximilian Martar. That took 3 sets. Oscar Ate defeated Malik Jaziri. That took 4 sets. Kei Nishioka defeated Quinton Hollis. That took 3. Nicholas Mahut defeated Marco Cecchiato. He was the 16 seeded, so there's an upset there. That took 5. Roger Federer defeated Lorenzo Sonego as Federer advances. That took 3. Hugo De Leon defeated Prajnesh Gunneswaran. That took 3. 17-seeded Diego Schwartzman defeated Martin Fucsovics. That took 5. Laszlo Djere defeated Albert Ramos Vinolas. That took 3. Philip Kohlschreiber defeated Robin Haas. That took 4. Leonardo Mayer defeated Hiri Vesely. That took 3. And the last of the Sundays, 27-seeded David Goffin defeated Ricardas Berankis. Monday was the second day of round 1. Miomir Kekmanovic defeated Dennis Kudla. That took 5. 21-seeded Alex de Moner defeated Bradley Klahn. That took 3. Pablo Carreno Busta and Jayo Susta. Carreno Busta won that one in 3 sets. Corentin Moutet defeated Alexei Vontanen. That took 3. 15-seeded Nicolas Beshashvili defeated Juan Mondero. That took 3. Filip Krajinovic defeated 32-seeded Francis Tiafoe. That took 5. Pierre Hughes Herbert upset 12-seeded Daniil Medvedev. That took 5. Yannick Maiden defeated Kimmer Kopjans. That took 3. Kristen Garin defeated Riley Opelka. That took 3. Richard Gasquet defeated Alexander Zverev. That took 3. Roberto Carabelas Buena defeated Alexandre Muller. That took 3. 2-seeded Rafael Nadal defeated Yannick Kaufman. That took 3. Borna Koric defeated Alijas Badeni. That took 4. Guido Pella defeated Guido Anderozzi. That took 4. Henry Laskinen defeated Pedro Martinez. That took 3. Number 24-seeded Stan Wawrinka defeated Josef Kovalek. That took 4. 26-seeded Jael Simon defeated Sergei Stakovsky. That took 3. Joe Wilfred Tsonga defeated Peter Gojicic. That took 4. Salvador Caruso defeated Wame Munar. That took 4. Novak Djokovic defeated Hubert Hurkacz. That took 3. Lloyd Harris defeated Lucas Rosol. That took 5. Benoit Paire defeated Marius Copil. That took 4. Radu Albot defeated Tenny Sandgren. That took 4. Alexander Bublik defeated Rudolf Molliker. That took 4. Pablo Cuevas defeated Maxime Janvier. That took 3. Jan-Leonard Sturroff defeated Denis Shapovalov. Denis Shapovalov, obviously the 20 seed. That took 3. That was an upset. And then Dominic Thiem defeated Tommy Paul, and that took 4. Now on to first round action from Tuesday. Taylor Fritz defeated Bernard Tomic. That took 3. 9th-seeded Fabio Fonginini defeated Andrea Seppi. That took 4. Yoshihito Nishioka defeated Mackenzie McDonald. That took 5. That was a very competitive game. Mikael Ymer defeated Blas Rolla. That took 3. Elliot Burnchett defeated Cameron Norrie. That took 3. Federico Del Bonis defeated Guillermo Garcia Lopez. That took 4. Alexander Zverev defeated John Millman. That took 5. Juan Martin Del Porto defeated Nicholas Jarry. That took 4. 30th seed Dusan Lajovic defeated Thiago Monteiro. That took 3. 28th-seeded Kyle Edmund defeated Jeremy Chardy. That took 5. Ivo Karlovic defeated Feliciano Lopez. That took 4. Roberto Batista Agut defeated Steve Johnson. That took 3. Jordan Thompson defeated Alejandro Dajovic Fokina. That took 3. Martin Kilzon defeated Mikhail Kukushin. That took 5. That was a good match. 10th-seeded Karen Kaknavov defeated Cedric Marcel Steve. That took 3. 23-seeded Fernando Verdasco defeated Dan Evans. That took 4. Lucas Paoli defeated Simone Bolelli. That took 3. Gorgi Barari defeated Matthew Ebden. That took 4. Antoine Hoang defeated Damir Duzmer. That took 4. And Adrian Manarino defeated Stefano Traglia. That took 5. And last but not least, 14th-seeded Gael Monfils defeated Taro Daniel. And now I'm going to pick the ones for tomorrow. First at 5 o'clock Eastern Time, you have Corentin Moutet against Guido Pella, the 19th seed. I'm going to go with Guido Pella there. Stefano Tsitsipas against Hugo Dellien. That's also at 5 o'clock Eastern. I'm going to go with Tsitsipas. Then you have Juan Ignacio Londero against Richard Gasquet. I'm going to go with Gasquet there. That's at 7 o'clock, as well as Alexei Papryan against Laszlo Dejaer. He's the 31 seed. I'm going to go with Alexei Papryan. I'm going to call for an upset here in the second round. Another one at 7 o'clock Eastern. You have a couple of them at 7 Eastern. David Goffin against Mjolnir Hekmadyk. I'm going to go with Goffin there. Then you have Roberto Calabres Buena against Filip Krajinovic. I'm going to go with Krajinovic. Kei Nishioka against Joe Wilfred Songa. I'm going to go with Nishioka there. Then you have Yannick Madden against Rafael Nadal. Nadal's the easy pick there. Then at 9 o'clock Eastern, you have a couple of them. You have 29-seeded Matteo Berrettini against Casper Ruud. I'm going to go with Berrettini. 9:30 Eastern Time, you have a few. You have Stan Wawrinka against Kristen Garin. I'm going to go with Wawrinka. Then you have Nicholas Mahut and Philip Kohlschreiber. I'm going to go with Kohlschreiber there. Leonardo Mayer against Diego Schwartzman. Schwartzman's your 17th seed. I'm going to go with Schwartzman. Then you have Oscar Ott against Roger Federer. Federer's your 3rd seed. He'll advance. And then you have Grigor Dimitrov against 11th-seeded Marine Cilic. I think Dimitrov has a chance, but I'm going to say that Cilic wins it. And then at 11:30 Eastern Time, you have number 21-seeded Alex de Moner against Pablo Carreño Busta. I'm going to go with de Moner there. And then last but not least, you have Benoit Pierre against Pierre Hughes Herbert. I'm going to go with Herbert to advance. Now I'll move on to the women's side of things. And we're going to start with Sunday, go through the first round up until today, and then we'll pick tomorrow's second round matches as well, just like we did for the men. 31-seeded Petra Martic defeated Ons Jabeur. That took 2 sets. A big-time upset early on. Anastasia Potapova upset Angelique Kerber. That took 2 sets. 19th-seeded Gabrielle Muguruza defeated Taylor Towson. That took 3. Johanna Larsson defeated Magdalena Rybakova. That took 2. Marketa Vondrousova defeated Wanya Yafan. That took 2. Kristina Kukova defeated Svetlana Kuzatova. That took 2. Laura Siegman defeated Sofia Zook. That took 2. Katerina Kosova defeated Bernarda Pera. That took 2. 15-seeded Belinda Bencic defeated Jessica Ponche. That took 2. Kristina Madlovic defeated Fiona Ferro. That took 2. Carolina Pliskova defeated Madison Brengel. That took 2. Sarah Sobrius Tormo defeated Allison Van Utovic. That took 3. 9-seeded Elena Svitolina defeated Venus Williams. That just took 2. And 7-seeded Solane Stevens defeated Miss Kay Doi. That took 2. Yesterday's sets. Kaya Kanepi upset Julia Georges. That took 2 sets. Lauren Davis defeated Kristina Pliskova. That took 2. Johanna Conte, that's your 26th seed, defeated Antonia Lautner. That took 2. Diane Parry defeated Vera Lapko. That took 2. Another big upset. Veronika Kudermetova upset 13-seeded Carolina Wozniacki. That took 3. Victoria Kuzmova defeated Elise Cornet. That took 2. 4-seeded Kiki Bertens defeated Paula Parmentier. That took 2. 8-seeded Ashley Barty defeated Jessica Pegula. That took 2. Jennifer Brady defeated Ivana Djorkovic. That took 3. Sorana Cristia defeated Kaja Ajuvan. That took 3. Mandy Minella defeated Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova. That took 2. Polana Hercog upset 32-seeded Alexandra Sasnovich. That took 3. Zhang Suai defeated Varvara Lipchenko. That took 2. Donna Vacek defeated Ludmila Sasnova. That took 2. 12-seeded Anastasia Sevastova defeated Lukiza Kumkum. That took 2. Shelby Rogers defeated Astra Sharma. That took 2. 20-seeded Elise Mertens defeated Tamara Zadansek. That took 3. Rebecca Peterson defeated Yulia Punseva. That took 2. Serena Diaz defeated Aubrey Albi. That took 2. Carla Suarez Navarro defeated Diana Yastremka. That took 3. Danielle Collins defeated Tajana Maria. That took 2. Ekaterina Alexandrova upset number 30 seed Mihaela Berzansku. That took 2. Andrea Peknovich defeated Allison Risk. That took 3. Aloyna Bosova defeated Vera Zavonerva. That took 2. Samantha Stosur defeated Barbara Strykova. That took 2. 10-seeded Serena Williams defeated Vitalia Dayachenko. That took 3. Sophia Kenin defeated Julia Gatto Montecone. That took 3. And last but not least, 25-seeded Hishi Shui defeated Victoria Golpik. And Tuesday's results, 21-seeded Daria Kostakina defeated Jasmine Poliani. Arena Camelia Bagu defeated Zhu Lin. Both those sets took 2. Monica Puig defeated Kristen Filpkins. That took 2. Carolina Machova defeated Annette Contavet. That took 3. And by the way, that was an upset. Contavet was your 17 seed. Kermi Nara defeated Dalila Jakovic. That took 3. Amanda Anisimova defeated Harmony Tan. That took 2. 22-seeded Bianca Andreescu defeated Marie Boskova. That took 3. Caroline Garcia, that's your 24 seed, defeated Mona Barthel. That took 2. Victoria Azarenka defeated Helena Ostapenko. That took 2. Magda Linette defeated Chloe Paquette. And that took 3. Anna Blikova defeated Margarita Gasparin. That took 3. 1-seeded Naomi Osaka defeated Anna Carolina Smedlova. That took 3. 11-seeded Ariana Sablenka defeated Dominika Silbakova. That took 2. Priscilla Hone defeated Timea Babos. That took 3. Wang Qiang, that's your 16 seed, defeated Zhang Sasai. That took 2. 27-seeded Lesia Serenko defeated Eugene Bouchard. That took 2. Alexandra Krunik defeated Daria Gravola. That took 2. 14-seeded Madison Keys defeated Evgenia Rodina. That took 2. Simona Halep, that's your 3 seed, defeated Olija Tomljenovic. That took 3. Iga Swiatek defeated Selena Jagnovic. That took 2. Katerina Siniakova defeated Elena Rabankia. That took 2. And last but not least, 29-seeded Maria Sakkari defeated Anna Tashashvili, and that took 2. All right, tomorrow we're going to pick them. Second round begins. Just tomorrow's matches. You have 19-seeded Gabrine Magzurka against Johanna Larsson at 5 o'clock Eastern Time. I'm going to take Muguruza to move on. Also at 5 o'clock Eastern tomorrow morning, Jennifer Brady and Polana Hercog. I'm going to take Hercog to move on. Don't feel good about it, though. Veronica Kudermetova against Zarina Diaz. I'm going to go Diaz. Elise Mertens and Diane Perry. Mertens obviously are 20 seed. I'm going to take Elise Mertens to advance here. You have Zhang Suhai against Kaya Kanepi. I'm going to go with Zhang Suhai there. Solane Stevens against Sarah Sorribes Tormo. I'm going to go with Stevens. She's your 7 seed. You have 9-seeded Elena Svitolina against Katerina Klozava. I'm going to go with Svitolina. She's obviously more proven. 7 o'clock Eastern, you have Shelby Rogers against Carla Suarez Navarro. I'm going to take the upset here and go Shelby Rogers. 7:30 Eastern Time, you have Anastasia Sevastova against Mandy Minella. I'm going to go with Sevastova here. Also at 7:30 Eastern Time, you have Kristina Kukova against 2-seeded Carolina Pliskova. I'm going to go with Pliskova, obviously. 9:30 Eastern Time, you have Anastasia Povatova against Marketa Vondrosova. I'm going to go with Potapova there. Then you have 31-seeded Petra Martic against Kristina Magnovic. I'm going to go with Martic. Noon Eastern tomorrow afternoon, Johanna Konta against Lauren Davis. I'm going to go with Lauren Davis for the upset. Then Rebecca Peterson against 23-seeded Donna Vicek. I'm going to go with Rebecca Peterson for the upset. Then you also got Victoria Kuzmova against 4-seeded Kiki Bertens. I'm going to go with Bertens to advance. And then last but not least, you have 15-seeded Belinda Bencic against Laura Segmund. I'm going to go with Bencic there. That's it for French Open talk. And now I'm going to do my latest MLB mock draft. I'm going to be very, very quick with this. And then obviously best bet after that. And without further ado, here we go with my third mock draft. I'm going to have a couple of these this week because the draft is in 6 days from now. 1, Baltimore Orioles, Adley Rutschman, catcher, Oregon State. There's been some chatter about the Orioles going with Andrew Vaughn, but I'm not buying the rumors. Rutschman's the guy. He'll immediately become their top prospect and their catcher of the future. 2, Kansas City Royals, Bobby Witt Jr., shortstop, Colleyville Heritage High School in Texas. This is the Royals guy. Keith Law's been saying it over and over, and I believe him. 3, Chicago White Sox, J.J. Bleday, outfielder, Vanderbilt. This is changing on a daily basis. The latest of what I'm hearing is it could be Bleday, could be Vaughn, it could be anybody really, but the Bleday thing for the White Sox is gaining momentum. 4, Miami, Andrew Vaughn, first baseman, California. This would be a mega win for Miami. A guy that people are speculating that could go 1 to the Orioles could fall here to Miami, as the White Sox would pass on him in this case. And Vaughn is somebody that is really good and immediately becomes one of the Marlins' best prospects. 5, Detroit Tigers, C.J. Abrams, shortstop, Blessed Trinity High School in California. Abrams falls to the trade here. This could be a steal. This is another team that can go in multiple different directions. 6, San Diego Padres, Riley Green, outfielder, Hagerty High School, Florida. Green, people think, is the best high school hitter in the draft. And obviously, him falling this far could be considered a steal by some folks. 7, Cincinnati Reds, Nick Lodolo, lefty, TCU. A lot of people think that Lodolo will be the choice here. And I think that he will be the choice. He's the best pitcher in the draft, and the Reds need some young college arms in their system. 8, Texas Rangers, Hunter Bishop, outfielder at Arizona State. He's somebody that is going to be a good pick for whomever takes him, especially if it's right around the top 10. Him and the Rangers is just a good fit here. 9, Atlanta Braves, it's a compensation pick. Jackson Rutledge, righty, San Jacinto, Texas. After taking a high school pitcher last year that failed to sign, they take another one here with Rutledge. Rutledge could fall pretty far, even into the teens, in the late teens, if he doesn't get picked here. 10, San Francisco Giants, Bryson Stott, shortstop, UNLV. The Giants have some options here. They'll go with the best player available, and to me, Stott would be the favorite here. 11, Toronto Blue Jays, Corbin Carroll, outfielder, Lakewood High School in California. This would be a solid pick by the Blue Jays after many folks penciled them into having a pitcher in this spot. 12, New York Mets, Zach Thompson, lefty, Kentucky. This has been a very popular link between player and team, and I think that this is very likely to be the case. 13, Minnesota Twins, Shea Langoliers, catcher, Baylor. This is the second best catcher in the draft and would have been if it had not been for Adley Rutschman, who's probably going to go 1 to the Orioles. Maybe he becomes the Twins catcher of the future. 14, Philadelphia Phillies, Alek Manoah, righty, West Virginia. Manoah is somebody that could be a steal at this point for Philly after some people think that he could go in the top 10. 15, Los Angeles Angels, Matthew Allen, righty, Seminole High School, Florida. Allen is somebody that could end up going to college if he slips pretty far past this point. 16, Arizona Diamondbacks, Brett Beatty, third baseman, Lake Travis High School in Texas. This is somebody with very high upside. Could be a surprise top 10 pick, or could be somebody that falls out of the first round. 17, Washington Nationals, Josh Jung, third baseman, Texas Tech. Jung's had a down year, but a lot of people tend to think that he'll still be a first-round pick. 18, Pittsburgh Pirates, Brennan Malone, righty, IMG Academy in Florida. Pirates are a bit of a wild card. They can go in any of the 4 directions, whether it's college arm, high school arm, college position player, high school position player, but here I have them taking Malone. 19, St. Louis Cardinals, George Kirby, righty, Alon. This is just a really good fit. Kirby, somebody that if he falls beneath this, it would be a steal for whoever gets him. 20, Seattle Mariners, Quinn Priester, righty, Cary Grove High School, Illinois. Priester is somebody I had slated 16 the last few times, but I have him going here to Seattle. I think that Priester is somebody that has some upside and someone I could see Jerry Dipoto taking a chance on. 21, Atlanta Braves, Logan Davidson, shortstop, Clemson. This is another popular player in team link of late. I had Davidson slotted to go to Pittsburgh earlier in these mock drafts, but here I have him going to Atlanta. 22, Tampa Bay Rays. Keone Cavaco, third baseman, Eastlake High School in California. He's somebody that wasn't even a top 200 prospect draft-wise before the start of the season, but this guy has emerged into a guy that could go in the first round. 23, Colorado Rockies, Will Wilson, middle infielder, North Carolina. Solid player. This is a popular player team hookup as of right now, too. 24, Cleveland Indians, Michael Bush, first baseman, outfielder, North Carolina. Someone who's positionless, could be a DH down the road. 25, Los Angeles Dodgers, Gunnar Henderson, shortstop, John T. Morgan Academy, Alabama. Somebody whose stock is on the rise, somebody that can go higher than this. He's a good hitter and has shown power as well. 26, Arizona Diamondbacks, which is a compensation pick. Daniel Espino, righty, Georgia Premier Academy. He's someone I had slotted to go to the Dodgers last few times, but I think he falls one spot back and goes to the Diamondbacks. 27, Chicago Cubs, Cody Hosey, third baseman, Tulane. Good power hitting third baseman. He's somebody that has unlocked a lot of potential this year. 28, Milwaukee Brewers, Tyler Callahan, third baseman, Providence High School, Florida. Him and Brett Beatty are similar due to their age, but he's somebody that is a flat-out hitter. 29, Oakland Athletics, Greg Jones, shortstop, UNC Wilmington. Here's another player-team connection that is growing strong, and Jones is somebody whose stock is rising. 30, New York Yankees, Cameron Mintzner, outfielder, Missouri. Meanwhile, Mintzner's stock is going down. I had him in the top 20 a few mock drafts ago, and now I have him going 30 to New York, which could be a steal for the Yanks. 31, Los Angeles Dodgers, compensation pick, Braden Shoemaker, shortstop, Texas A&M. Shoemaker is somebody I think is a little underrated coming into the draft. Other shortstops have passed him, so if he's taken beyond maybe 30, I think it'd be a steal. 32, Houston Astros, Seth Johnson, righty, Campbell. Johnson was a shortstop before transferring to Campbell, and he's somebody that really has emerged as a live pitcher to go in the first round and somebody that really could impact the big league club down the road. And last but not least, my best bet of the day, brought to you by DraftKings. We're going to be very, very fast here because there are a lot of baseball games that are about to get underway. So, without further ado, here we go. We are going to take the Yankees against the Pods. We're going to go with the Red Sox against the Indians, the Rays against the Blue Jays, the Astros against the Cubs. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to go with that. Lester's pitched well this year. White Sox, that's a surprise to some folks because Lucas Giolito's emerged as somebody that could be relied on. Oakland against the Angels. We'll go with the Dodgers against the Mets. We'll go with the Mariners over the Texas Rangers. We'll switch over to the French Open. We'll go with Guido Pella. We'll go with Stefano Cipias. We'll go with Laszlo Dejer, David Goffin. And then on the women's side, we will take Elise Mertens. So that's a shade above 39 to 1, wagering $1, payout of $40.12. That's it for the podcast today. I'll be back tomorrow with maybe another MLB mock draft, an NBA mock draft. I'm going to have a guest on tomorrow, Josh Eberly. We'll give you updates with the French Open. We'll do Thursday round 2 picks for French Open. And obviously, preview and pick Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final, go over all the baseball action, and of course my best bet for tomorrow as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everybody.